They've got a power and a force that you've never seen before. They've got the ability to morph and to even up the score. No one can ever take them down. The power lies on their side. Go, go, Power Rangers!
What an honor it is to be on stage with you three fine gentlemen this evening. My name is Joseph Devine. I am your MC, your Master Chief for the evening.
Master Chief.
Yes, yes.
That's like a Halo reference, right?
We're just gonna jump to it. I'm like speechless right now. I don't even know what to say. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just start a line.
Yeah, he's still talking.
Yeah, I'm still talking, right? Yes. Yes, I couldn't be more excited to be on stage with you. I said it twice. Anyways, what we're gonna do is if you guys want to line up on this one mic, we're gonna start the Q&A just pretty much right now. So you can see that mic right there? Yep, right there. Are you guys that shy? Look at that. Why isn't that?
You'll get the ball rolling.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. First question real quick. You know, all working together, what was the most awkward moment on set? I had to say it, I'm sorry.
For me, it would be when people would pass gas. Awkward. You're filming a scene and you get a smell. And you have to keep filming the scene. So that would be the most awkward moment.
You did that several times.
No, it was never me.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
I think those were the awkward moments. There were also awkward moments where sometimes if you were not as important to the script, that you kind of got put in the back, and that was kind of weird. It's like, okay, but what about they can't see me. It's kind of weird.
I know, it'd be a close up on Dave, and I'd be like, Dave, like, get out of my face, please.
Awesome, awesome. What would you say the best moment on the set? What was that? Or when?
The best moment on the set. I guess that's pretty wide open. I mean, I can't say there was one best moment. There are lots of amazing moments, and it depends on what you were doing as far as your character was concerned, and what you were doing. Like I love the fights. I love doing the fight scenes on the show. That was part of one of my favorite things. Is like choreographing and doing the fight scenes. And for me, that was some of the most amazing moments.
Yeah, you know what? For me, that's the same thing. The stunt coordinators, they were like really cool. You know, they really trusted our talent and just let us do kind of whatever we wanted. They let us create it. If we couldn't come up with anything, they had something ready for us. But they really kind of gave us our chance to shine. Really, that was where we really got the chance to. So I was really happy about that.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, brother. You got no pressure or anything. Go ahead and get started, brother.
All right, man, it's cold in here.
It's freezing in here.
Oh, Jesus. Well, my question is, when y'all first started doing this, and when Steve, you walked on to Power Rangers, did y'all expect it to be this big for years? And now that it is, how does it feel to be icons?
Dave's an icon, man.
I don't know.
I just work here, man.
When everybody says we're icons, for me, that feels really uncomfortable. I don't feel that way at all. But never in a million years, for me personally, did I ever think the show would have the success that it had when it first started airing. So that was a big trip in itself. And then to see that we have such a strong fan base over the past 20 years that have been very loyal, and all these new kids coming in and watching the original episodes has been pretty amazing and fantastic. And I'm extremely grateful to be a part of a show that has influenced so many people's lives. So many of you tell me such awesome stories about how the Power Rangers really helped you maybe become a scientist, or you got into karate because of Power Rangers, or gymnastics, or whatever it was. It's just been awesome for me.
Yeah, I don't think we ever expected it to be. Well, we didn't expect it to be as successful as it was. I think after the pilot, we were all kind of like, oh. Oh, okay, that's what the show is. That's interesting. And then you know, we redid everything. We started doing episodes, and then the numbers started coming in, and the toys were selling, and the show was becoming huge. And it was like, wow, we're on something that's really successful, and that's awesome. And you know, even after it had reached the peak of where it was, as far as being as popular as it was, and not being able to find toys, and you know, people waiting in lines for hours, and selling out Universal Studios 6 times in a day, and those kind of things. Even after that, I think I never expected 20 years later for it to be still so strong. I mean, like every day somebody comes up to me and goes, "You were the Black Ranger." Oh my God, dude! I grew up when you were in my childhood, and every time I hear that, it's I mean, it's starting to hit my head even more. I'm like, wow, we really did something really positive for a lot of people. I mean, 40 countries around the world. I've been to Africa, I've been to Venezuela, just came back from England, and touring year through Europe, and I'm like, there's people all over the world that have the same message, that you inspired me to be better in some way. And that's, I mean, for me, that's amazing.
I knew exactly what I was walking into. Because I came out and the show was already popular, and I'm like, okay, cool, no problem, let's make it better.
Awesome. Next.
Thank you, guys.
It's a good question,
Would you ever reprise your role? I know they're thinking of maybe doing a Green Ranger movie. Would you ever?
Yeah, I was thinking, it's gonna be weird being the Green Ranger, but
I mean, it's forever green, we'll all be in the green suits.
I mean, no. I would love to go back and reprise a role, reprise the character of Zach in Power Rangers. I just need it to be done in the proper way. I mean, I'm a union actor. I've been a professional actor, well, say union actor, for 20 years. And so it's difficult for me to go and do a non-union show because, well, it's looked badly upon, and it's difficult. Yeah, so it makes it hard, but hopefully they'll do a movie or something, and it allows me to you know, go and be part of it as a SAG actor.
Cool, you would go back.
Yes, first I want to say I'm a huge fan of you. As a child, I watched every single season until Tommy left, and I want to say some of the other characters had some martial arts skills, and no offense, but some of you don't really look like martial artists. Did you have to learn hard to get the skills to fight when not costume?
Are you talking about me?
No, he said, no offense, you don't look like a martial artist.
No offense, you don't look like a martial artist. You know,
I know all of you. I mean, did all of you have to train hard to learn how to do martial arts out when you're not in costume, or?
Yeah, we were always learning stuff, you know, like, I mean, I came in with a Taekwondo background, but, you know, Jason Frank was a Shotokan, you know, so I kind of studied some of his moves and tried to emulate some of that. Johnny was brilliant at Kung Fu, and so I try to incorporate some of that stuff in my fight scenes as well, too. So I kind of learned from everybody, even though I had already been well-trained. I tried to take as much as I could from everybody else as well. Did I answer your question, kind of?
Yeah. Also, when all of you left the show, was it your decision or the producers decided to get someone new?
All three of us, yeah. I think we left on our own, yeah.
Fight to the death.
I think it was, I guess when we left it was, well, I was the first to leave the show. Myself, Twee, and Austin. And what that was is we wanted to renegotiate the contract because they were asking us to sign a 3-movie deal and another 40 episodes all in one contract, all non-union. And it just, after doing 2 seasons and the show being as popular and as successful as it was, it made $1 billion in the first year. I just felt like it was really unfair for it to be non-union still. So we tried to negotiate it, and then in the end it didn't work out, and so I moved on.
Okay, I think that's all the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah.
Just wanted to say first that, same thing. I mean, I just turned 21 this past summer, and Power Rangers just celebrated 20 years, so I can literally say I grew up on it. From 1 years old up, and I've watched every season. I've missed you guys so much from watching it. To see other people like Johnny and Jason come back, I hope one day maybe they can bring you all back. But my questions are more for David and Steve about the movie. I mean, more for David, what was your favorite part of the movie? Like, what was your favorite part of making the movie?
Well, I really liked the costumes so much better. I just thought they looked really sick. What do you guys say these days? I'm an old man. What do you guys say?
No, sick's good.
They were epic. They were the most epic costumes ever. So no, I just thought they were really cool. They were kind of heavy to wear, but I thought they looked really neat. And just filming in Australia, knowing that our sets and our budget was just like on a bigger and grander scale, just made it that much more fun to film. So, I mean, the whole process for the most part was exciting and different than the TV show. But we worked long hours, so it was a little grueling at times.
And then Steve, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of bad things happened to you in that movie.
A lot of bad things happened to me in the movie?
In the dinosaur fight, you got knocked out. In the fight with the rock monsters, you were hanging by a ledge. I mean, you were the only one I saw get actually punched by one of the ooze guys when y'all were fighting them. And then, I don't know if this is true, but Jason and Johnny are always mentioning this prank that was pulled on you by Jason while you were asleep, apparently. And they say
I don't remember, but
oh man,
Which one is it?
So it was like everyone just picking on you during the movie making? Like,
Did they what?
Was everyone just picking on you, Steve?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I have my revenge. I'll wait another 20 years.
And just a quick question for Walter. I always noticed that you had good martial arts skills, but were you more of a professional dancer at the time?
I graduated from School of Performing Arts, so I'm trained as a singer, as a dancer, as an actor, and I had taken jazz and ballet and tap, and I've been hip-hop dancing since I was a kid, and pop locking and break dancing, a little bit of everything. So I was also a trained martial artist, so it was just a matter of putting everything together. And my character, because his form was hip-hop keto, there were also scenes where it was just me hip-hop dancing, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
And he's a world champion salsa dancer.
Yes, I won a world champion salsa competition in 2004. If you are interested, you can look it up on YouTube. Walter Jones, salsa champion.
Thank you, guys.
And also, hi guys, what's going on?
What's up?
Quick question. When you guys are rewatching these series, is there any scenes or any fight scenes that you go, I should have done that better, or I should have done something different that you could have done?
I always look at, in the beginning, it was weird because we didn't have a lot of time. So we get to the set and they go, all right, so we're gonna rehearse the fight scene and we create the scene right there. But it was like 7 o'clock in the morning and the grass was wet and we were cold and it was like, weird. So then we do the fight and, I gotta do a backflip and I gotta jump and kick, and I would slip and fall sometimes and they would keep it in. It was like, they didn't edit it around it. I'm like, I look at some of those fight footage and I'm like, oh, okay, there I fell. But I kept going. It was like, I jumped, I kicked, I fell, I got right back up and kept fighting. It was like, it's kind of funny to me that it wasn't perfect, but
I don't know what I was gonna say, man. Something about that. No, I know what I was saying. I hated the fact that they always cut out some of the best moves that we did, because those were too violent. So, all the good stuff, especially in the movie, our fight scenes that we did in the movie were way more elaborate, but they had to cut most of it out, especially the stuff we did in plainclothes, because they just didn't want, the kids to be relating to. You could actually see our face; it seemed to be more real, I guess. So they didn't want us to be kicking people in the face and stuff like that.
in the beginning we got to kick people in the face. It was a lot of fun. And then they said it's too violent. And they said, okay, from now on you can only do body contact.
Now on, aim for the Z.
So for me, I mean, it's the same thing. As an actor, though, it's usually not a good idea for me to watch myself because then I will want to redo everything. So you just kind of have to trust the directors to know what they're doing and just kind of go with it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Hi guys.
Hi.
It's like such a privilege to actually stand here and actually look at you guys from here and ask you a question. I'm trying so hard not to nerd out. I'm sorry. Okay. What I wanted to ask you guys is, okay, if you guys can go back and do it again, would you? And I think that's my only question. Would you go back and do it?
I would 100%, of course.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, here we are 20 years later, and we're so beloved by everybody. Why would we do it? I'm like, you know, I mean, like, that's awesome. I mean, yeah.
Awesomeness. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
My question is more for the Blue Ranger, David. Did you get the name? Okay. All right. There was actually an episode, and I can't remember which season, but your character Billy has been doing some invention, and him and Kimberly like switch places, or something like that. And so my question was, how was that acting-wise? Got to like try and do it? Did you do like another, get into another persona on the show?
Like, what was my process as an actor?
Yeah. Like, how was that? Was that
method.
So was that different than like, okay, I'm playing Billy now? Oh wait, now I gotta play Kimberly? What? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It's a challenge as an actor. That was one of the, when we first started filming the first season of Power Rangers, that was one of the scripts that was like written right off the bat. And so even before we started filming, there was like 3 or 4 scripts that we had, and so we rehearsed those and rehearsed those and rehearsed those. So Amy Jo and I got to rehearse that episode quite a bit before we even got to film it, like a month. So, I mean, we worked a lot on it. It was fun, but you know, that's one, that is one episode that I wish never existed, yeah. And if I could go back, going back to that guy's question before, if I could go back and do it a different way, I absolutely 100% would do it totally different. All right, thank you for your question.
Good.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Hey, like when you go back and watch the episodes, hearing Billy talk, like every time he throws out one of those words, like a scientific word, I guess it is, do you ever like think about like Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory? Like, you're kind of like the original Sheldon. Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Jim Parsons, that actor, he's like amazing. I mean, I really admire his work because I do watch him on that show, and his lines are 1,000 times harder than mine. And the way that he delivers it, I'm just like so impressed. So I admire him a lot. And yes, I often think that Billy is a lot like Sheldon Cooper. Although, you know, Billy's inventing beyond Sheldon. I mean, Billy had a flying car. He's on another planet right now. So he created teleportation, all that kind of stuff. So if that answers your question.
Hi, first I want to say I love you guys to death. I watched you guys all the time when I was younger and got made fun of, but those are just losers who didn't know what they were thinking. But my question was, with the poses that you guys did, were they random or did the director tell you to do certain ones? Because there was a lot of over dramatic ones that I loved, and I just want to know if that was your idea partially or...
The poses?
Yes, the poses.
Oh, you mean like the...
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, well, part of it is some of the poses we weren't doing. They were Japanese footage in some of those, like in the beginning episodes.
Yes.
Most of the poses that we did do were not as many. We didn't do that many poses. I think when we were in the suit, only occasionally we did.
Yeah, I mean, and when they're over dramatic, they do that because you have a helmet on and you can't see expression. So they want you to over dramatize the movement and the
body
poses
movement,
so
head
that you're
stuff.
conveying some kind of power or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's the intent behind it. But yeah, usually for me, because I wasn't really a martial artist, I was a gymnast, they would tell me, stand like this. usually Jason Frank or somebody would correct me. And, so for me, I was always told what to do. Other people that are natural martial artists knew exactly what they were doing.
Well, thank you.
You did good, right?
Yeah, he was
For not having, like, in the beginning, not having that the formal kind of training and to still pull it off, that says a lot. It's good.
I remember in the beginning, he was learning his moves and stuff, and as time was going by, things were awkward in the beginning, and he got more and more advanced, and the kicks got better and higher, and he was amazing with the flips. So he would do, like, I could do one flip, he would do like 6 flips and a back tuck, and I was like, wow, I hate him.
But you have the dancing, so
Yeah,
kind of evens out.
I just admired it. I always admired it. That's all.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
My name is Jonathan. First of all, I want to say thank y'all because it was after watching an episode where Billy was being bullied that it gave me the courage when I was in elementary school to stand up to the bully that was bullying me. And after that,
Nice.
After that, school became a whole lot more funner. But my question is, was there ever a plot or a scheme by either Rita or Lord Zed that y'all thought, this is completely ridiculous? How could this happen?
Every episode, right?
Oh, I remember where there was one. Sorry. There was one where, like, Nakia, it was on Zio, and Jason Frank, they, like, had some kind of problem where they could only sing all of their words. And they had to sing, like, every line. And they're like, I thought it was fun. They had to sing. I was like, oh. I'm so glad they did not write me into that episode. I just stood in the background on that one and was like...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
How's it going? My name is Joe Martinez. The question's for David. Alpha 5 was like way out of date compared to you. Like, is there anything you could have done to upgrade them or something? Or actually, like, help out?
Well, I mean, if we look back at the whole TV series, it's way out of date. Like, the command center is kind of embarrassing.
Balls were like sunset? Like the sunset?
Like, if you really saw what the set looked like, it looked okay on screen, but if you really had walked onto our set, you would have been like, what the fart is this? So, but yeah, I mean, obviously Alpha 5 could have definitely been upgraded, but I think Alpha 5 had a lot of charm to the way that he or she was. And, I think it added to the show, so I wouldn't want to change it.
Where's Alpha 5? Alpha 5 should be here on this panel with us right now.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Selfie. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was just wondering, like, from the original run, which of the monsters that you fought were your least favorite, like, creatively or, acting with or whatever?
The pachinko machine. The pachinko machine was by far the weirdest one. The Japanese, like, pinball game. And then Dave's going, it's a giant pachinko head. I felt bad for you on that line, man.
I thought that was your line.
No, that was your line. You're like, oh my god, it's a giant pachinko head.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the monsters were interesting, but I always liked Pudgy Pig from the Food Fight episode.
Yeah, he vomited our instruments, our weapons. I gotta say, the Nasty Night. Nasty Night from Happy Birthday, Zach. That was a pretty intense monster to deal with. He had that wicked laugh.
Thank you.
Hey, my question is actually for Walter. Sometime after you left Power Rangers, there was supposed to be a movie that you were doing with Austin and Tui.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
You know what? The film industry is strange. I mean, there's lots of red tape and so forth and so on, it was a project that was in the works. So we had a script, and you know, lots of things kind of fall through the cracks: financing, producers, changes in directors, so forth and so on. And in the end, it just didn't happen.
Thank you. I was looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, me too.
Hello, my question is, did any of you watch the Super Sentai before filming? The Japanese version?
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean, the only thing I really saw before we started filming was there was another pilot of Power Rangers that Mr. Saban had tried to make like probably 6 years before ours, which was more adult oriented, and that had some of that Super Sentai footage in there. But I never sat down and watched a full episode until I maybe have seen 1 or 2, but not before we started filming.
I don't think I've seen.
Also, do any of you plan on coming back for Super Mega Force?
I think that's already been shot, to the best of my knowledge.
They already filmed it out back in May, I think.
And so I wouldn't be going back for that, but I'm always open to a true reunion show of MMPR.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a really big fan, so I'm trying not to like cry or anything. But okay, so did y'all encounter like any injuries while on set? And if y'all did, how did the programmers like edit or try to play it off?
I, in our first season, got into a bar fight and had my nose broken, and had to film. They wouldn't, and I waited too. Like I was stupid and didn't go to the emergency room right away. So I went to the emergency room the day after I got my nose broken, and they said, you got to come back in a week and we'll re-break it. We need to let it set. So there's several episodes where I have a broken nose, and they had to draw black lines down my face to make it look like my nose was symmetrical, and trying to wear my glasses on top of my broken nose was not very comfortable. So it was a really brutal time for me, but it teaches me not to get in bar fights.
I forgot all about that.
You forgot about
I forgot all about that. That's right.
I had never really been in a fight either before, so it really caught me off guard. And I went home, and I didn't cry. I didn't cry at the fight. But I remember when I got home, it was like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and I called Jason, David Frank, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I just got in a bar fight. My nose is broken." And I'm crying. He's like, "Dude, my wife is laying next to me and she's pregnant. You're waking me up at 3 in the morning and you're crying about your broken nose." It's just crazy. I think I'm probably the only person that had some kind of an injury, but it was not work related.
I don't recall getting injured at all. No.
I didn't get injured, but we injured some of the stunt guys pretty bad sometimes. I felt kind of bad about that. You know, accidents happen, but I mean, you know, partly that's what those guys were there for. But you know, you still feel bad when you do it, though.
Was it David Ward? One of our stunt guys had like his nose pierced, and I think he got kicked in the face.
That was your stunt double.
Yeah, he was my stunt. Yeah, and he, when he got kicked in the face, like the nose ring got pulled out of his nose.
Yeah, brutal.
But never really to us per se.
Yeah. And I, in the movie, I had my big, heavy Doc Martin combat boots on, and I was throwing a flying sidekick toward Tadahiro, one of the Japanese alpha stunt guys who was in that ooze guy. What are those ooze men called? Are they called the ooze guys or something? The purple ooze with dreads. I kicked him right in the face. Like I didn't mean to. I was supposed to like stop it short, but the boots were so heavy that I couldn't stop my momentum, and boom, I hit him. And I felt really bad about that. And then Jason Frank kicked one of the Australian stunt guys pretty hard. The guy asked for it though, because he was like, "No, mate, you gotta kick me harder. You gotta kick me harder." Jason was like, "You don't want me to do that, man," because he was flying in like it's when the Tengu Warriors, you know, the birds were flying in, right? So they had these stunt guys on wires, right? And these guys flying in face first. And then Jason Frank's like throwing his kick, and the guy's supposed to fly back, but he couldn't fly back enough because he was stuck on that wire, so he couldn't get his momentum back. So the guy's saying, "Kick me harder, kick me harder." Jason was like, "You don't want me to do that. You don't want me to do that." Take after take after take. Finally, Jason goes, "All right, dude, I'm gonna get you." And he comes flying in, and he throws the kick like super hard. And then they're like, "Okay, great, cut." And all the other guys start coming off the wires, and you see the one guy just hanging there like this. Ow. He couldn't get up. He told me to do it, man. I was so bad for that, guys. You do not know what you're asking for. You have Jason Frank kick you.
Jason's got some really strong kicks.
Really strong.
But he did get injured. Jason David Frank, ran up a tree.
Oh, yeah.
He ran up a tree right before we started filming the movie and tried to do a backflip off of a tree and just smashed his face.
His whole face scraped against the
So,
bar.
like, for the first part of the movie, his face has like scabs all over it and stuff. You can't tell, but we knew.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I love you so much.
Thank you.
My question is for David. Being familiar with your credentials, both in the past and present, what's it like to have worked in front of the camera for as long as you have in front of Power Rangers, to being a producer behind the camera now?
Well, I mean, it's two different. It's much easier being an actor, and you get paid more, and you get treated like royalty, and so that's great. And acting for me is fun. As a producer, you kind of end up being in charge of everything, like the money and making sure you stay on budget, working with the casting director to hire the actors, the writers, the directors. I mean, there's just you kind of have to make sure you get everything in order. So I enjoy both, and I do enjoy producing quite a bit. So it's just two different mediums. It's just with being a producer, there's a lot more responsibility.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi guys.
What's up, dude?
I got two questions. Well, one's a question, the other one's a favor. The question is, what was the best scene ever that you ever did?
The best what? I'm sorry.
The best scene that you did.
The best scene?
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite ones was an episode called "It Came from Angel Grove," and that was a Halloween episode that we did, and I got to turn into a werewolf, and I had to throw on a British accent for it too. And, so it was Johnny's dream. There's some kind of monster in the woods or whatever, and then it was me, and I turned into this werewolf and like start chasing him down, and he's running away, and that was a pretty good one. It's all done in black and white too, which is kind of cool.
One of my favorite scenes was the dance-off between me and Bulk. I was telling somebody that was at my table today, it's funny because in that episode, one of the things I did is I did pirouettes, so spinning, right? And in this particular episode, I got like 7 or 8 spins. It was like zoom, 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 got it, right? And sometimes what happens is after we do a take, they go, all right, check the gate, cut, check the gate. Well, that means they have to check to make sure there's no hair in the camera. Because if there's a hair in the camera, they gotta redo the scene. Now, I had never done 6 or 7 pirouettes or 7 or 8 pirouettes like that. And I was like, check the gate. They checked it, and I was like, did you get it? And they were like, got it. I'm like, yes. Because now that lives forever. I mean, I've never been able to do it again. I've never done that many turns ever. And on the one day that I did do it, it was captured on film. So, love that.
It's tight.
Oh, and the favor is, can you call out your power?
No. Go sit down.
Tyrannosaurus. Mastodon.
I'm down.
Put the helmets on.
I figured you might as well say it like this. It's Morphin time. Mastodon!
Triceratops. Tyrannosaurus.
I got to say it's Morphin time.
What's your name? What's your name? Michael, I'm gonna autograph a Radbug card because I hate that question. This is Billy's card from the first season, the Radbug that flew. Nice. There you go.
It's funny because in the episodes that we did, Austin St. John was the Red Ranger, so he always got to say it's Morphin time. He always got to say it, right? And I think there was a few episodes where, you know, Austin was missing, so then I got to say it. I was always excited. I was like, I get to say it. I get to say it's Morphin time. So,
I think Billy got to say it too, and he says it's time for molecular transmutation.
There was one time when Amy Jo did it, and she was just like, she was saying something, and then she turned to the camera and said, it's Morphin time. It's pretty funny.
Hi guys, you guys kind of already answered my question, but is there any other lines you love saying?
Sure.
Can you say it?
A fully sentient, multifunctional automaton.
I didn't have any taglines, really.
Yeah, Zordon, it's Rocky.
Zordon.
Zach here, ready to rock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. This is more curiosity. I just wanted to know what your most recent favorite action movie is for each of you. So I would have asked what's your favorite movie of all time, but I don't want you to sit here for 20 minutes thinking about it. Just the most recent.
Most recent action movie. Are we talking like superhero stuff or
anything? Action.
Like is Oblivion action?
Yeah.
I loved Oblivion.
That was a good movie, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Somebody's getting old. I'm talking about myself.
Well, what's the latest movie you've seen?
Okay, it's not the latest movie I've seen. There's this karate movie about this guy in a hotel. He's in a building, and he's got to get through the whole building. He's like a police officer.
Raid Redemption.
What is it? The Raid. Yeah, that movie is badass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a really cool movie.
Dude, no doubt, Man of Steel. Superman is my favorite. Always been my favorite. As a little kid, I used to dress up like Superman. I made my whole own Superman outfit. I used to have these blue sweats and a blue sweatshirt, and I had the red underoos, and I pulled the red underoos over the blue sweatpants, and then I would tuck in the sweater in them, and then I had like a towel that I safety pinned to the back of the sweater, and I had this S that I sewed onto the thing, sewed it on myself, and then I'd put just like a whole crap load of like Vaseline in my hair, Superman curl. And we had this old dirty mattress out in the back of our house, and I used to just throw it down, and I would jump off the garage and fly like Superman onto the roof. Don't do that at home, kids, okay? I'm just telling you right, or adults, don't do it at home, but I used to do it.
Thanks, guys.
I was a trained professional, though.
I'm Joe.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Like, y'all were like my icons whenever I was like 5. I'd watch, like, I'd sit down in front of my grandma's TV and just stare at the TV. But, like, after y'all, like, all left, what did y'all, like, do after that? Were y'all still, like, in contact? Like, were y'all in contact with each other?
Well, after I left the show, I just kind of started working and doing different shows. I actually booked a show on Nickelodeon called Space Cases. So I was, you remember that show? Okay, cool. Harlem, and anyway, I was in Montreal for a while, so I was kind of distant and gone, and you know, all the drama behind the show, I was kind of gone for a while. But I didn't talk to a lot of the cast members for probably a number of years. Anyway, but once we started hanging out again, it's like old home, you know.
Yeah, I lost touch with everybody too, actually. Pretty much I lost touch with everybody. And then I think the first, 2007 when we did the first Power Morphicon. And that's when I kind of got in contact with everybody again. And then shortly after that, I was at the gym, and I look over and I see Dave Yost on the weights, and I'm like, is that Dave Yost? Hey Steve, what's up? So then we found out that we were neighbors and we lived like right down the street from each other. So it was pretty funny. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me too, like there was a period of maybe 5 years where I I mean, I always kept in touch with Amy Jo, and Jason and I kind of were always on each other's periphery. But then I just reconnected with all these guys in like the last 5 to 6 years. So we're all in contact. We all hang out.
Yeah,
We all
hang out.
get
Me,
along with each
me,
other.
me and Karen and Dave hang out a lot too. We go to lunch together. Karen Ashley, and we see Kat Sutherland all the time too. And Walter brings his kids to my jiu-jitsu academy. Sometimes he comes and trains with me too. So yeah, we're real close still, man, which I'm very, very grateful for.
It's fortunate that we all have this amazing thing in common, you know, Power Rangers, and because it's very few people. Well, I guess there's 20 casts, but but as far as like Mighty Morphin is concerned, and what the show was when Mighty Morphin was around, it's a very small group of us that know what that's like, and it makes us close.
Can I have y'all's ladder?
Sure, come to our tables. We'll be happy to do that for you.
Not
this table. Like Thank you.
Thank you.
He's the blonde guy in the back. He will be the last question for the evening.
Awesome. That means I made it. All right, my name's Tony. I'd like to thank you. I've raised kids my whole life. My youngest nephew got me into watching Power Rangers. I was older, of course. And then I adopted a son. He was really into Power Rangers. And I watched how his life has changed because you guys. He's won 3 martial arts tournaments in his young life, 15 years old. And unfortunately, thanks to Jason David Frank, he's taken MMA. Thanks. Go Power Rangers. Yeah, what do you guys feel about Jason David Frank and his mixed martial arts career?
What do we think about it? I'm inspired. I think it's awesome. I mean, he's always been an amazing martial artist, and when I heard that he was doing MMA, I was like, that's awesome. I bet he's gonna rock. So, and he did really quite well. So I was proud of him.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like if anybody ever doubted that, that we weren't real martial artists or didn't really, know our stuff or whatever, that he kind of put that to rest. So that's really cool.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Hi. I think I've been kind of thinking about this for years. Like, what kind of every girl wants to know too. Like, knowing that you guys are legends in like geek world, like, how would you, like, how was it like a go-to pleasure to pick up girls like, yo, like, I'm a Power Ranger.
Google me, honey. Google me.
Mastodon.
I bet you have honestly done that to a girl.
I am not.
It's Morphin time.
No, I think it actually, it really is kind of corny. I mean, meaning I wanted to be liked for who I am and not who I've been. Do you know what I mean? So in general, I meet people and they like me as a person, and if they recognize me first off, then that's cool. But if they don't, then they find out, they're like, wow, you're really cool, so then that's cool. I mean, I like that.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
Just want to say thanks for coming to Comic-Con. It's a big pleasure. This question's to all of you guys. You know how like DC, Marvel are big right now in movies? If you were in your prime right now, right? Even right now. I'm just saying. Because there's not many old characters. I'm just saying.
I'm not selling tomatoes today.
It's all good.
If you had a chance to pick a Marvel DC character, who would it be to be in a movie? To like play as you, character.
Do I have to say it again?
I heard you.
I think everybody knows, right?
Superman?
No, Batman, dude. What have we been talking about this whole time? Come on.
Because it's Batman?
DC, Superman is amazing. I mean, I think that's the character I always grew up wanting to be as well. I mean, I always tried to fly. I didn't quite go to the same extent, but I did dream about it. So, Superman, I mean, I still want to fly, so.
You did?
I don't know. I mean, I could say Superman too. I just remember before Chris O'Donnell got to play Robin in Batman, there was a big casting call and I got to audition for that. Didn't make it, but I always thought that would have been a cool role to play. Even though it's Robin, I get it.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
terms of like Power Rangers merchandise?
There's a lot of weird stuff.
Actually, a friend of mine, sorry, I say it before I lose my thought. A friend of mine that lives here in San Antonio, his girlfriend has Power Ranger scrubs. She's a nurse and she has Power Ranger scrubs. I saw that. That's pretty cool. And she showed me the picture yesterday. I thought it was very funny.
You gotta make it back home. I have, I've seen, is it popcorn? Yeah, Power Ranger popcorn. I actually had a bag and I had it saved in my basement with a bunch of other Power Ranger paraphernalia, and I pulled it out for the MorphiCon, and the bag was all like gross, and I was like, okay, I guess it's time to throw this away. But yeah, the popcorn was kind of interesting. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's amazing how much merchandising they came up with to put Power Rangers on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still dumbfounded by stuff that I see that you guys bring us to sign. Sometimes I'm like, I had never seen that. Where did you find that? So, there's all kinds of stuff. I just always regret my picture on the original Blue Ranger box, like the doll.
Yeah.
Because they weren't like legit pictures. Those were just pictures. I didn't have makeup on. They greased my hair down and just threw these glasses on. They were just trying to see if this is what Billy was going to look like. And that's the one they ended up using. And that's the one they used. And then when we went to series, I never even looked like that. So every time I see that picture, it's like, oh.
That's funny.
And then also, like, what's the weirdest thing a band has asked you to like sign or do for them? That sounded gross, but you know what I mean.
Recently, we were at a con. I think you were there with me, Dave. We were at a con where a guy he had tattoos of signatures all over his body. He was in the Guinness Book of Records with the most tattoos of signatures, and so he added my signature to his body. That was kind of odd. I was like, okay, so I wrote on it, and he got a tattoo. So kind of interesting.
Somebody asked me to sign their face right here.
And I was asked to sign a wet pair of pants once.
With a dryer.
That was interesting.
Thanks, guys. You're awesome.
You're welcome.
Hi. Now I'm gonna ask a weird question for Walter. Can you show some dance moves for everybody?
I'm waiting for this question.
All right, tell you what.
Hey, DJ game, music? Nope, okay.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have you do this. I need a beat, all right? We're gonna do this. Let me hear you clap like this. It's Morphin time. 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 It's Morphin time.
I can't hear you guys.
We ain't got no rhythm. Hey, no pressure, but you are the last question, man.
Yes,
No.
sir. All right. Hello, guys. My name is Marco. I came a little late. This is my first time at Comic-Con, and I was hoping y'all can sign off doing the Morphin time.
We
just
did it.
did that.
I know. It's just I came in a little.
No pressure or anything, man. You're the last question.
We already did it. Were you not here?
Yes, sir. Please.
Oh, he said please.
He said, please.
You want us to do it again, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, David hates that question, but he's probably gonna sign 2 more cards.
They're doing it.
Let's do it.
He really hates that question.
It's Morphin time. Mastodon.
Triceratops.
Tyrannosaurus.
Alamo City Comic-Con, give it up for the Power Rangers!
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much.
Hey, guys. guys, I'm about to do my photo op right now in costume, so make sure you guys line up. I don't know where the photo op booth is, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out.
And just for you all to know, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is Walter E. Jones, at Walter E. Jones, as well as my Instagram, at Walter E. Jones.
And my Twitter is also Walter E. Jones as well.
Also,
see you at the table, guys.